Have you ever loved something and wanted to learn more about it, but never really wanted to do the research? Well, me too. So for my informative speech, I decided to do it on baseball and why it is the national pastime. I'm going to talk about who created the game, how it came to be what it is, the beginning of it, and some people who made a huge difference. I had many ideas for topics that came to my mind, but I chose this one because I love baseball a lot. You may have heard that a guy named Abner Doubleday came up with baseball and then went on to be a Civil War hero. That story is a myth. It was proven that a man named Abner Graves, a coal miner, came up with the story. The real history of baseball is a little more complicated than that. As stated by History.com staff on their website in 2013, there are references of games resembling baseball back to the 18th century. But it is closest to the two English games, rounders, a children's game, and cricket. The first game ever recorded in America was in Hoboken, New Jersey in 1846, but the first professional team wasn't created until 1869. It was the Cincinnati Red Stockings. Baseball became huge in this time because of the Civil War. Before baseball, cricket was really big, but you couldn't play that wherever you wanted, so they started to play baseball. One time on the radio, someone called baseball the national pastime, and it literally has stuck with it since then. There is no other reason that they call it that. Ever since then, baseball has continuously built up and got better, and it will continue to get better as the world continues to evolve. Next, I'm going to talk about some really important people when it comes to baseball. First, I'm going to talk about Cy Young. Maybe you've heard of him. His real name is Denton True Young. His debut as a pitcher was in 1890, and he played for 22 years. His stats over that period, as stated by Dean Lawless on an article about Cy Young, were 511 wins. He pitched 7,354.2 innings. He had 749 complete games and only 316 losses. He is one of the best pitchers to ever play the game, which is why in present time, every year, the best pitcher in the American League and National League win the Cy Young Award. In his first season, he pitched 423.2 innings. And in 2000, the Cy Young winner in the National League, Randy Johnson, only pitched 248.2. I don't know if that says anything to you, but it does to me. Secondly, I'm going to talk about Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play on a professional baseball team. In 1945, he played one season in the Negro Baseball League, and then in 1947, he was asked to join the Brooklyn Dodgers. At the beginning, he had to go through all of the white people saying bad things about him and disrespecting him in every way possible. After his rookie season, it obviously didn't bother him because he ended up winning the National League Rookie of the Year. He broke the color barrier and eventually was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Jackie Robinson was a huge part of why baseball is the way it is today. Lastly, I want to talk about Albert Spalding. Ron Kaplan said in an article about the most influential people in baseball that Spalding was one of the best pitchers to play. He also stated that Spalding won 204 games and lost 53 with a 2.21 earned run average. After he was done playing, he became a sporting goods star. Have you ever heard of the brand Spalding? Yeah, it came from this guy. He did many things other than all of that as well. He was a man with many jobs and was always doing something to help shape baseball and make it better. In conclusion, I talked about who created the sport, how it developed, and people who shaped the game to what it is and made a difference. I have never been as confident in a speech as I am in this one. I love the sport of baseball and glad I could learn a little more about it. I hope you got to learn something new as well. I enjoyed doing this and thank you for listening.